It's Seraphina, and tonight I'm going to take you on a delightful journey through one of my favorite classic stories, The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. This play is filled with witty dialogue, charming characters, and some wonderful twists of mistaken identity. I'll be sharing it with you in a way that's calm and soothing to help you relax and perhaps drift off to sleep. Let's begin. We open with two characters, Jack Worthing and Algernon Moncrief, two young gentlemen of society in Victorian England. Jack, known to his friends as Ernest, is leading a double life. You see, in the country, where his responsibilities lie as a guardian to a young woman named Cecily, he is known as Jack. But when he escapes to London for some fun and freedom, he becomes Ernest, a carefree bachelor with no ties or responsibilities. Algernon, or Algie, is his witty and slightly mischievous friend. He knows something is off with Jack's dual identity, but doesn't let on at first. We meet them in Algernon's London flat, where Jack is preparing to propose to Gwendolen Fairfax, Algernon's cousin. As Jack sits nervously, Algie teases him. You can hear the soft clink of tea being poured into cups, the rustling of papers as they chat about trivial matters. And then Algernon brings up a cigarette case, a simple little object that holds the secret to Jack's double life. The case has an inscription from Cecily, Jack's young ward, and Algernon quickly pieces together that Jack has been living under a false name. Algernon confronts him, but there's no malice in his voice. Wilde's humor is gentle and playful, with Algernon poking fun at Jack for having such an elaborate double life. Jack admits to creating a brother named Ernest, whom he can visit whenever he wants to escape his responsibilities in the country. This imaginary brother has allowed Jack to indulge in the pleasures of London without tarnishing his good name in the countryside. Can you imagine having a second identity? It's such a whimsical idea, and in Wilde's hands, it becomes both funny and revealing about society's pressures. Algernon is amused and decides that he rather likes the idea of bun-burying, as he calls it, creating an alternate identity to avoid obligations. He even has his own Bunbury, an invalid friend named Bunbury, whom he uses as an excuse to get out of unpleasant social situations. It's all very clever. Now, let's fast forward a bit. Jack is head over heels in love with Gwendolen, and tonight he's decided to propose. Gwendolen, of course, believes his name is Ernest, and confesses that she has always dreamed of loving someone with that name. There's something about the name Ernest that seems to signify honesty and strength, qualities she greatly admires. As Jack nervously proposes, you can hear the soft flutter of her dress, the clinking of delicate teacups, and the gentle hum of the afternoon as they sit in her mother's elegant London drawing room. Gwendolen eagerly accepts his proposal, but her confession about loving him partly because of his name throws Jack into a bit of a panic. How will she react when she finds out his real name is Jack, not Ernest? Their sweet moment is quickly interrupted by the arrival of Lady Bracknell, Gwendolen's formidable mother. Lady Bracknell is a character of great authority, and her presence immediately shifts the tone in the room. You can almost hear the sharp tap of her cane, the rustle of her elaborate skirts, and the air growing tense. Lady Bracknell wastes no time. She interrogates Jack about his family background, finances, and character in a scene that is both hilarious and nerve-wracking. When Jack admits that he was found as a baby in a handbag at Victoria Station, Lady Bracknell is horrified. She refuses to allow Gwendolen to marry a man with such a dubious background. Poor Jack is left stunned, his plans of marrying Gwendolen crumbling before him. Meanwhile, back in the countryside, we meet Cecily, Jack's young ward. Cecily is a romantic at heart, and although she's never met Jack's imaginary brother Ernest, she's created a whole fantasy around him. She imagines him to be dashing and charming, and has even written letters to him in her diary. Cecily's daydreams are filled with soft whispers, the turning of pages, and the rustle of summer leaves in the garden. Enter Algernon, who has decided to take on the identity of Ernest and visit Cecily. You can hear the light footsteps on the garden path as he approaches the countryside estate. Cecily is delighted to meet the man she's heard so much about, and Algernon, ever the charming rogue, quickly wins her over. As they talk, you can hear the soft murmur of a fountain in the background, the breeze gently rustling through the trees, and the soft hum of bees in the garden. The scene is peaceful, with Algernon flirting playfully with Cecily, and Cecily blushing and laughing at his witty remarks. Cecily, of course, falls for him immediately, enchanted by his charm and the name Ernest. When Algernon proposes to her, she eagerly accepts, thrilled to be engaged to the man of her dreams, though, just like Gwendolen, much of that dream rests on his name. Now things get even more complicated as Jack returns to the country, only to discover that Ernest has arrived and is courting Cecily. The two friends are forced to reveal the truth, that neither of them is named Ernest, and both have been living under false identities. Their confession is met with shock and a bit of laughter. In a final twist, Lady Bracknell arrives, determined to prevent any further engagement. However, it is revealed that Jack is actually the long-lost brother of Algernon, meaning that his real name, by a stroke of fate, is Ernest after all. The story concludes with both couples happily engaged, and Jack declaring that he has finally realized the vital importance of being earnest. The play ends on a light and joyous note, with everyone laughing at the absurdity of their situation. Wilde's wit and humor shine through, even in these final moments, reminding us of the joy that comes from embracing the ridiculousness of life. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Soothe, the importance of being earnest. I hope the soft storytelling and gentle humor helped you relax and unwind. Sometimes the most lighthearted stories can bring us the most peace. Until next time, sweet dreams, lovely friend. Good night, Seraphina.